You need to know your mutables. Welcome to this series where I talk about less known facts of Java that often trip up young developers. And today we are talking about how mutable variables in Java can behave weirdly if you don't know what you are doing with them. So here we have your bare bones structure of a class. We just have the main method inside a class called main. Now let's suppose I am going to provide you an integer array. So let's say it's int a, and you provide it with some values. Let's say 1, 2, and 3. Now, when you print this thing, what you would see is it has all the values that your integer has. Now let's run it, and it has 1, 2, and 3 as you see. Now, let's suppose you want to create a second array, say int b, and you want to copy your stuff in there. So if you then print that again, you would see, look at that, b and a have the same things, which you would expect, right? Because you have copied a to b. Now let's say change the values of b. So we are creating the first element of b from 1 to 5, and then if we again try to print the values of b, what you would find, and look at that, after we have changed the value of b, the first element of b has become 5. But watch what happens when I print a. So would you look at that? After the change on b, the value of a also has changed. You would assume that the value of a would remain unchanged and it will still show you 1, 2, 3, but no, it gets changed the moment you change b. Why is that? Well, because int arrays actually are objects in Java, and when you created b and you use the equal sign here, it basically became an assignment operator, and the internal object that was the original array a still got referenced by int array b as well. So when you change something via b, it actually affects the object that it references. When you print a, it shows you the same object, and that is why you can see the value change in a as well. I can prove that to you by printing the addresses of a and b. So let's do that. If you look at here, the address of A and the address of B is the exact same thing. That is because they point to the same internal object, and that is why when you change B, it changes the internal object, which is what you see via A as well, and that is why you have the same value in both A and B. So then how do you copy an array into another array in a way that they don't form this weird connection between them? Well, let me show you. So instead of using the assignment operator equals, what you do is you declare an array, say C, and you use the method arrays.copyof. And here you pass two arguments. One is the array that you want to copy and its length. So you provide b, comma, b dot length, and that's it. When you do that, now let's see what happens to our array C. Let's copy the value and then let's print the address and let's run it. And so now if you see, the values of C becomes 1, 2, and 3, even though you have changed the values of B. That is because you copied C before you had changed the values of B. And changing the value of B here in line number 12 does not affect the values of C. And that is because if you look at the address, B has a different address than C. So they are really two different objects. And that is why changing B does not change C, but it does affect A. Hope that helps.